theatre of dreams, once graced by the elegance and grace of the late, great Sir Bobby Charlton, stands still, its heart heavy with the passing of a true legend of not just Manchester United, but England as a whole. Today, the red and blue skies of the vibrant city come together, united in grief and respect, as they prepare to do battle in the iconic Manchester Derby, the 139th edition of this famous and historic rivalry. 191st, should I say. But amidst a fierce rivalry and the relentless pursuit of victory, there is a lingering pause, a moment to honour the man who transcended the beautiful game. So let the passion of football resonate through these hallowed walls. Let the spirit of Sir Bobby Charlton inspire us all as we witness a derby like no other, a derby with poignant significance. It is the Manchester Derby, the 191st edition. It is Manchester United up against Manchester City. And we'll take you through the two starting 11s at the current point in time. Manchester United, a pretty poor start to the season, and have an opportunity to go within 3 points of Manchester City if they get the victory today. In goal is Andre Onana, following his fantastic penalty save midweek to keep United up against FC Copenhagen. The back four of Diogo Dalot, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof. Midfield two of Sofiane Amrabat and Scott McTominay. Casemiro does not feature in the starting 11. And a front three of Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, Marcus Rashford with Rasmus Højlund up top. As for Manchester City, in goal is Ederson, a back three of Josko Gvardiol, Ruben Diaz and Kyle Walker. Midfield two of Rodri and John Stones, and a front four of Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden, joined by Erling Haaland up top. On the bench for Manchester United, Altay Bandia, Rafael Varane, Sergio Reguilon, Mason Mount, Hannibal Mabry, Anthony Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo. He's obviously coming back from a significant injury mishap himself. And of course, Anthony Martial. And for Manchester City, on the bench for them, Stefan Ortega, Rico Lewis, Nathan Ake, Sergio Gomez, Mateus Nunes, Mateo Kovacic, Oscar Bob, Calvin Phillips, and Jeremy Doku. And you see a lot of Bobby Charlton's teammates at Manchester United, also within England, currently standing on the sidelines in respect and in tribute for Sir Bobby Charlton. Will obviously observe a minute of silence for him and his greatness, the greatest English striker, according to many, a storied career at Manchester United, over 600 appearances in all competitions, or in the league, should you say, but also over 750 appearances for the club in total. 249 goals it was, and for England, well, it doesn't really stop there. 49 goals and 106 appearances. FIFA World Cup winner. His memory and his legend is etched within footballing folklore. A very sombre occasion for Manchester United, and this is truly a beautiful tribute. There's a tifo that's gone up with all the making out Sir Bobby. Now this is just it's really spine tingling what you can currently see at the moment. All players are surrounding a circular thing that covers the. You said a circle that says Bobby Charlton 1937 to 2023 forever loved. And as we have a moment of applause for Sir Bobby Charlton. Born in Ashington, made in Manchester, one of the banners do say at this hallowed turf. Respected by opposition fans around the world, and so too very poignant that today is the first Premier League match played at Old Trafford following Sir Bobby Charlton's passing. Round of applause is done, and we'll have kickoff in about a minute or so. The 191st edition of the Manchester Derby. The balance of power, of course, has shifted in this city in recent times, and only four of the last five meetings they've won, and that was last season, including the FA Cup final in June, which Manchester City went on to win. And of course, City did win the elusive treble, the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the UEFA Champions League. Harry Maguire's opener against Copenhagen was the one that sealed them the victory for Manchester City, as of course another big week for them in the UEFA Champions League as well. A 3-1 victory over Swiss side Young Boys was far from straightforward. And win away for City is a good sign, as they've obviously lost 3 of their past 4 matches on the road this season, including both of their last 2 trips against Wolves and Arsenal respectively. Well, the script is written. Manchester United up against Manchester City. It is the Manchester derby. It doesn't get any bigger than this, really. And we are privileged to bring it to you live on Flashscore. This is not an official Premier League broadcast, might I add. And we have kickoff underway. United in the red, City in the blue. And we'll see the ball go up to the left-hand side in United's defence. They go back into the goalkeeper's box with Andre Onana. Comes out of his box, does Onana. For a brief period, and decides to look to the right and finds Harry Maguire. Maguire just biding his time on the ball. Back into the goalkeeper box of Onana. You can see Bernardo Silva is pressing up high. It's one back in the centre circle by John Stones, and Eriksen tries to get the pass away. Still in United's defensive half. At the midway point of that defensive half, after this right-hand side now is Dalot. Plays it back to Lindelof. Sorry, should I say Harry Maguire. A bit of a career renaissance for him at this football club. After reports that he wanted to exit the club. Now it's into United's attacking half. Rasmus Højlund. To the left-hand side, it falls to Marcus Rashford. Approaching the left edge of the penalty area. Rashford cutting onto his left. Rashford still ongoing. Looks out and finds Eriksen on the perimeter of the penalty area. Now they're about 10 yards out from the penalty area. Dalot with a cross towards the back post. Lindelof manages to keep it in across the face of goal, but it just was over the bar and just hit the netting on the top. But an encouraging start for Diogo Dalot, and Manchester United, of course, scored that wondrous goal last week as a part of United's win against a formidable outfit it was on the balance. Sheffield United definitely not the easiest test for United. As for Manchester City, they've really cruised along this season, although it's not been all easy pickings. Down this left-hand channel now is Gvardiol, crossing past halfway, turns back. Still on this left-hand side, he loses that in possession, and Højlund will pick up. Now it's for Scott McTominay, driving into the penalty area. Scott McTominay still ongoing, gets a strike away, but it's extremely tame on his left foot, and it's right into the arms of Ederson. The Scotsman had a fantastic few weeks, of course, scoring those 2 late goals against Brentford. Scored against Sheffield as well. Couldn't quite add to his goal-scoring account in the first few minutes of this Manchester derby, but City certainly on the back foot so far. It's back in the midway point of City's defensive half down this left-hand side. It is, let's go Gvardiol, a big signing arriving from RB Leipzig, the Croatian. Now back in the centre circle is Rodri. Looks across past halfway on this right-hand side, but decides to turn back into the centre circle and play it across to John Stones. Now it's up in the attacking half. It's Stones out to the left-hand side of Bernardo Silva, approaching the byline on this left-hand channel. Bernardo Silva looks back left and finds Gvardiol, still in the attacking half of Manchester City. Now it's brought back into the centre circle. This time, Flippin Diaz. Out to the right-hand side is Kyle Walker. Off of a step, progresses the ball out to the right-hand side, finds Rodri. He goes further right and looks at the option of Phil Foden. Foden looks back, finds the option of Kyle Walker. Steps away and back into the defensive half. It is with Diaz yet again. Rodri out to that right-hand side on the right-hand touchline, and City decide to just play it back to Ederson in goals. Ederson, in fact, hasn't actually started all games this season. Didn't start several weeks ago, and Ortega took his spot, but now he's back in the starting 11. Gvardiol looks up to that left-hand side, intercepted initially by Eriksen, and a bit of heave-ha in that left-hand touchline, and it's the midway point of City's attacking half. Jack Grealish will take the throw-in, or will win it per se for his side. And City look back down that left-hand touchline, back into their defensive half. This time it is with John Stones, playing as a 6 in recent weeks. Midway point of City's defensive half, out to that right-hand touchline, past halfway. It's Walker. Plays it back and does find Ruben Diaz. Incisively looking to find Rodri. It's back of a step now. Julian Alvarez coming to press back into the defensive half. Midway point of the defensive half for Manchester City. Rasmus Højlund is pressing up high. Ederson has to clear down to his left-hand side. He does so. It's chested down by Bernardo as they cross past halfway now. They're still in City's defensive half on this mid-left-hand side. Stones now into a more central position. Now it's with Ruben Diaz. Crosses past halfway down that right-hand channel. Racing down that touchline is Kyle Walker. Drives in a more central position. Looking to find an incisive through ball, but it's intercepted by United. Now Rasmus Højlund back to goal. On this left-hand side now, racing is Marcus Rashford. Down this left-hand channel. Rashford in space, approaching the left edge of the penalty area. Cavalry arriving for United. The overlap was looking to be arrived and met by Victor Lindelof. It eventually is down that left-hand touchline for Manchester United, but it's called as an offside. Well, hasn't this been a very end-to-end game so far? City mainly controlling possession, but United with a couple moments in transition. This is how they've played for the majority of this campaign, and in some parts, and obviously hasn't experienced a lot of success, all things considered, but perhaps there are brighter days for the football club. As for City, they've got European football in their sights, and a very fruitful campaign they've had as well so far in the Premier League this season. Wasn't the easiest of victories against Brighton. And now the clearance goes up the way of Ruben Diaz, but it's picked up by Bruno Fernandes in the midway point of United's attacking half. Now Maguire plays up the field for Eriksen, looks down to that right-hand side. Dalot plays it back into the defensive half for United, this time with Maguire. Just on halfway, back at the centre circle now is Evans. And Maguire plays it back to Onana in goals. Of course, it was Ortega that did start last week against Brighton. Onana back in goals now, looking to twirl it onto his left foot now, and he goes up the field into the centre circle. Højlund picking up now is McTominay on that right-hand side past halfway. Plays it back to Dalot. Dalot just looking to bide his time on the halfway line now with Maguire. As he looks back to his goalkeeper and Onana. Left for Evans, and City are mounting pressure. And Onana has to clear it to the left-hand side. It's met by the pass and the interception. But Onana clears down that left-hand touch line. Now in possession is Amrabat, receiving one of his first touches this afternoon. Back into City's half on that right-hand side. And Kyle Walker goes up the line down that right-hand channel. Now to Alvarez. Incisive through ball to find Grealish in transition up the field in a central area. He looks down to the left-hand side. Perhaps a little bit too left for Bernardo Silva to reach it on that right left-hand touch line. And he plays it back to Gvardiol, who's in line with the left edge of the penalty area. Now to roll back into a central position. 25 yards out from goal, City are right now. It's with Rodri. Looks out to the left-hand side yet again for Silva. Looked to cross it but decided to feint. And now it's back with Gvardiol. Roll it central for Rodri. The incisive ball over the top down to the right-hand side. Walker keeps it in. It's Phil Foden! And now Erling Haaland! And it's kept off the line by Harry Maguire! Absolutely brilliant work from the United defenders, Onana and Maguire. It should have been a certain goal, but how that did not end up in the back of the net, who knows? Walker with a great header across the byline. Foden forced the acrobatic save from Onana. And then I think he made even a double save there, so yeah, Foden with a great header across to the left-hand side. Onana had to palm that away. And then Onana with the second save to just keep it away from the foot, the trailing foot of Haaland. The corner now does arrive into the penalty area, and it's a free kick against Manchester City. But a very encouraging start for the away side. And so too Erling Haaland, who knows all too well how to score goals against this side. What a great double save against Erling Haaland. A formidable force he is. Hasn't really repeated his goal-scoring exploits this season thus far, but 9 and 10 is a decent return. Back into the defensive half of United. Rodri up the park. It's Alvarez who chests it down. Looks to find Erling Haaland, but it's back out and cleared by Johnny Evans. Only as far as Phil Foden on that right-hand side for City, the midway point of their attacking half. This time with Ruben Diaz. Looks into the centre circle as Gvardiol has adjusted well in this City setup. Progresses up the field, looks at that, to that left-hand side, creating space for Bernardo Silva on that left edge of the penalty area. Leaves it further left for Jack Grealish. Onto that right-hand side, into the penalty area it goes. It's with Bernardo Silva, but it's cleared out by Maguire. And Bruno Fernandes will have to chase, but it's won back by Gvardiol. Now on the halfway line it is on this left-hand side. Gvardiol looks further left, back into the feet of Ruben Diaz. Midway point of City's defensive half now it is with Rodri. Rodri now in the centre circle, looks out that right-hand touchline, and Kyle Walker will progress up that right-hand channel, but looks back and finds the option awaiting him in Ruben Diaz. Up the field he looks for Rodri, plays it back into the centre circle for John Stones to retrieve. Looks out to the right-hand side for Walker. Now more central for Rodri. City looking to progress it upfield in their attacking half. They go back into their defence, this time with Ruben Diaz. And now Gvardiol to the left-hand side. Back into City's defensive half. Gvardiol slipping through a pass and it's intercepted by McTominay. And now Højlund in transition. United have got men forward. It's clipped through for Scott McTominay, but it's well defended and picked off by Bruno Fernandes. Should I say Bernardo Silva, my apologies. And it's won back by Amrabat, and now into the centre circle for Manchester United and Johnny Evans. United have had those moments in transition picking off passes, but haven't really been able to capitalise fully. It's Maguire in the midway point of United's defensive half. Out to that left-hand side is Evans. Looks back to Bernardo, comes out of his box to retrieve and send a diagonal ball out to the left-hand side, looking for the option of, I think it was actually Victor Lindelof, who's deputising as a left-back today. Of course, the injury to, at the moment, it's Luke Shaw. That's the pressing concern. Of course, Alex Tellers did depart in the summer as well. Midway point of City's defensive half. It is Ruben Diaz in the centre circle now as Rodri. Now Stones up the park. Looks out to the right-hand side for Kyle Walker. Still in City's defensive half. Ball up the line down that right-hand channel. And Phil Foden, can he reach it? Initially he can. But he chested it down to himself. But could only just send that out of play for a goal kick. So for City, this is a really must-win game for them to really set the complexion of how their season will pan out. They've got Tottenham and Arsenal and Aston Villa and Liverpool ahead of them at the moment in the live ladder. Villa with a 3-1 scoreline currently over Luton Town. Onana looks up that right-hand side, past halfway, and is picked up by Gvardiol in possession on this left-hand side in City's defensive half. Now it's with John Stones in the centre circle. Clip ball out to the right-hand side. It's on the right-hand touchline. It's Phil Foden, midway point of City's attacking half. Central now for Alvarez. Looks back for Rodri. Now he clips it out to the left-hand side and finds Jack Grealish on the edge of the penalty area on this left-hand side. Grealish looking on his right foot, rolls it back, but it's won back by McTominay in transition. Now, should I say Rasmus Højlund, who might go all the way up this right-hand channel now. He's very central. He's got Rashford for support on the left-hand side. He rolls it back and finds Eriksson, his fellow Scandinavian. Or fellow Dane, as you'd say. It's McTominay on this left-hand side, left-hand touch line, in line with the penalty area, and it's Foden who looks to impose himself as well. But it's play on for City on that right-hand channel now. It's rolled back into a central area, but for United's defensive half, and it's retrieved by Harry Maguire. Now it's with Diogo Dalot. United happy to knock it around in their defensive half. It is with Johnny Evans now. Coming to receive deep is Bruno Fernandes. Looks up past halfway, and it's McTominay sent it back to Evans. Very stunning return to the club for Johnny Evans. Of course, did join the club and at a brief spell at the age of 9. He was actually invited to the Centre of Excellence in Belfast, in Northern Ireland, and eventually did sign for the club. Made 131 league appearances for them, and switched clubs to West Brom in 2015. Was a part of that relegated Leicester City side in 2023 and is now back with United after training with them in their tour of the USA. Up the field does Onana go, and Højlund is receiving the ball back to goal in the centre circle, and that's the first free kick, I think, given this entire match. We're 13 and a half minutes in. I'm fairly sure that might be the first foul. And Hoyland goes to ground. A big money move from Atalanta in the off-season. In the centre circle now is Christian Eriksen. Plays it short for Maguire, past halfway now. Eriksen looks up the park for McTominay, can't quite flick it through. It does find the option down that right-hand channel for Dalot, the midway point of United's attacking half. It's back into the United's defence of Harry Maguire, just on the halfway line actually. Looks out to the right-hand side for Dalot yet again. Dalot looking to weave past Silva. Fernandes with the flick away and rolls it into a central position. Now in the centre circle is Evans. Has a look out to the right-hand side, and Maguire had to retreat and receive. And the midway point of United's defence, it's out to the left-hand side of Johnny Evans. Neat pass to Lindelof, and he scuffs it. It's headed by Rodri and then by Maguire. And Rodri back down to Foden. And in transition is Erling Haaland, but Onana comes out of his box to clear it all the way up high and right. And it'll be a throw-in for City on the midway point of their defensive half on that left-hand side for them. And yeah, well, it was a fantastic sprayed ball from Foden. Were it not for Onana coming out, it might have been a big issue for Manchester United. Now Ederson looks out to that right-hand side in City's defence. It's now Kyle Walker who will bring it past halfway. Space opening up for the citizens. Out to the right-hand channel now is Phil Foden. Attempting to cut inside, but looks further right for Julian Alvarez on the right edge of the penalty area. Alvarez, short to Foden. Now back to Rodri. They're about 10 yards out from the penalty area. Stones looks out at the left edge of the penalty area. Grealish with some space. Insides the ball out to Silva. Across the face of goal on the byline. It's with Rodri who looks for the attempted volley, but he flies it way over the bar, out for a goal kick. So City, and with a very intriguing attempt on goal, Silva slipped it in. It was headed back by McTominay, and Rodri just fired that over the bar. Rodrigo is, of course, his full name, according to the back of his shirt. Now it's out to that left-hand side for United on the edge of their penalty area. It's back into the penalty area with Onana. Heavily scrutinised his first few appearances in United shirt, but it's now into the feet of Haaland. Looks up to that left-hand side, and he was brought to ground according to the referee, and we'll see a free kick awarded to City. About 35 yards out from goal in the central position. Haaland always just finding those right pockets to break away in a steadfast manner. Silva looks out to the left-hand side. It's taken quickly. Further left is Jack Grealish, cutting onto his right. It's back to Silva. Looks left for Grealish with an excellent ball out to the left-hand side. It's crossed into the area, but it's Maguire who flicks it away. Danger not yet averted for United. It's Grealish who plays it back into the centre circle for Ruben Diaz in his defensive half. Looks out to the right-hand side now of Walker. Back with Diaz. Looks out to the right-hand side of Kyle Walker, stepping in now as the central defender is Rodri. He's having a bit of pressure applied by Scott McTominay. Vardio looks out to the left-hand side. Past halfway now is Bernardo Silva. Turns back from his marker and finds Gvardiol yet again. And it's back to Bernardo Silva, who's in a more deeper position on that left-hand side in the defensive half for Manchester City. Now Diaz. Vardio progresses up the park for City. On this left-hand side, looks further left and looking to find the option of Jack Grealish. He throws it back in now, following the pass away by Diogo Dalot. Attempted an interception it was. Diaz out to the left-hand side. Laterally finds Vardio. Diagonally he finds Grealish on his left-hand side, looking to receive the 1-2 punch. And it's deflected away by Dalot. Just looked to get the interception, and it's unfortunately for United gone out for a corner. And City will take it in on the left-hand corner flag. Julian Alvarez now on his right foot. Rolls it short. Now it's out to the left edge of the penalty area. It's Jack Grealish cutting onto his right foot. Grealish with a curling effort! But Onana goes down to his left and gets out of the way. Now the cross will arrive on that right-hand corner flag for City. What can they deliver from this position? It's high towards the back post. Rising highest was Silva, but it's back out for Grealish. And City forced to retreat. Now it's out to the right-hand side, midway point of City's attacking half. Alvarez will send it in, but it's headed back by Lindelof. United can't string any passes together, but it's back into the central area for Kyle Walker. Looks out to the right-hand side of Julian Alvarez. Incisively looking to find John Stones, should I say. And it's out for a goal kick. It was a nice pass along the ground. However, no goals yet. 21 minutes in. Manchester derby. It's a tantalising affair. And it's Lindelof down that left-hand channel. Looking on left-hand touchline, he's under awful lots of pressure, and Eriksson has to get it out of harm's way. Can only find the trailing leg of Rashford. And now Haaland looks to head it back on that right-hand side in City's attacking half, and the free kick is now called for Manchester City. Amrabat committing the foul, just a little bit too overzealous in that period of possession. On that right-hand side for Man City. It'll be a cross approximately 30 yards out from goal on that right-hand side. Alvarez on that right-hand side at the obtuse angle. The attempted ball goes in, and Diaz looking to get the header. It's eventually cleared by Maguire. And Walker sends it back into the mixer. And it's headed back on by Ruben Diaz. And Bruno Fernandes having an awful tough task to get it out of the edge of United's penalty area. Lindelof. City still pressing, and Bruno Fernandes says, enough of that. I'll send it up the line down that left-hand side. But it's now a high ball for Haaland and Maguire to contend with. And Bruno Fernandes finds Lindelof down this left-hand side. Højlund back to goal. Receives in board. Down that left-hand touchline. Fernandes now still in United's defensive half, as they look for the fantastic diagonal ball attempt, but it's the miscue from Dalot, and he plays it back into the penalty area for Onana, who has to get it clear down that right-hand side. Still in United's defensive half. Now touching it down as Alvarez down this left-hand side, but he was I think there's a call for an offside or a free kick here. Paul Tierney just giving some instructions to Maguire and Rodri. Not entirely sure what's happening here. I think he's going to VAR. Well, I think it's a call for a foul in that exchange. Rasmus Højlund appears to hold the shirt of Rodri, who goes to ground. Well, I think this might be enough to award a penalty here. Paul Tierney is having a look at the VAR. He definitely goes to ground, and he's definitely impeded in his pursuit to progress forward. Rodri, this would be a big moment in the game. Rodri is clearly pulled by Rasmus Højlund on that free kick attempt. Paul Tierney's having a look. Still having a look. Looked like he was about to go and penalty has been awarded. Paul Tierney points to the spot. Hoyland can't believe it. And United will have to contend with the striking acumen of big old Erling Haaland. Can Andre Onana repeat his goalkeeping exploits midweek? Rodri is pretty satisfied with that call, and you'd have to say in his eyes and in the view of many that would be justified. Poor giveaway. And in fact, it will be Erling Haaland to, of course, take this penalty. 10th of the season for him, perhaps, in waiting. What can he muster from this penalty? Erling Haaland from the spot. Will be regarded and will likely go down to the pantheon of great strikers in England on a very fitting occasion after Sir Bobby's passing. It's Erling Haaland from the spot, and Onana also gets a yellow card for time wasting. Haaland from the spot, down to the bottom right corner. That is exquisite, and Erling Haaland puts Manchester City in front. Punch in the air, and a great start for City, and an even better start for Erling Haaland. It was a poor giveaway from United, but City have to capitalise on these easy goals that they can score via the penalty spot. Well executed penalty by Mr. Erling Haaland. Excellent, well executed penalty from Haaland. Onana dove the wrong way. Bottom right corner, as easy as you like. Well, here we go. Let's see how United can respond. Haven't exactly responded the best from losing situations this season. And against a formidable opponent that Manchester City are, this will be very tough for them to contend with. Down this left-hand side is the option of Lindelof, who plays it back to Evans. Now back in the goalkeeper penalty area. Onana essentially finds Christian Eriksen in space. In the midway point of United's defensive half is Amrabat now up the field in the centre circle. Looks up to the left-hand side in the United attacking half. Now it is Lindelof. Central now Amrabat. Of course, the loanee from FC Fiorentina. In the centre circle now, Maguire. Now to Evans. Looks out to the left-hand side. It's just past halfway. It's Amrabat. Looks to the left-hand touchline of Lindelof. Rashford inside. Back with Amrabat. United with a rare spell of possession. It's Evans now. Looks to the midway point of United's defensive half with Maguire. Looks at the left-hand side now. It's Amrabat. Back into the penalty area with Onana. Onana finds Eriksen. Further right for Dalot. Inside for Maguire. City are pressing high. It's on the edge of the penalty area now. It's with Onana. Oh, jeez. Alvarez was pressing. He kindly plays it out, and it's picked up in possession by Kyle Walker down this right-hand channel now for City in their attacking half. Walker still ongoing. Stutter steps with Foden, who receives more central. Foden still going, plays it back to Rodri. And now it's Gvardiol in the centre circle. Looks left for Bernardo Silva. The back of a step now, Gvardiol yet again. And plays it back to his goalkeeper. And Edison, who's just awaiting the touch. Now it's out to that right-hand side. Further right now is Ruben Diaz. Now on the midway point of City's defence, it is with Rodri. Progresses it up the park, steps away on his right foot, and rolls it to Ruben Diaz. Now central for Haaland. Can he get the pass away? He can't. Amrabat is involved there. Now Maguire. Looping ball over the top down to that right-hand side. Gvardio with the header. And it's now with Rodri, who has to play it back to Edison. Sends it high along out to the left-hand side and out of play. Yeah, really poor giveaway by Rasmus Højlund. Just didn't really need to have a tug of the shirt. Don't think that Rodri went down too easily. He's clearly impeded his view, so definitely enough to give away a penalty. Really tried to demonstrate with Erik ten Hag. Now it's back on the left-hand side for United in their defensive half. Further left now is Evans. It's intercepted by Foden out of play. Midway point for United's defensive half. It is with Mr. Onana. He's just looking at the play. Doesn't have the ball on that left-hand side. He wouldn't be outside of his penalty area, you would expect at this point in time. Back into the penalty area is Onana. Onana looked to leave it for Maguire, but didn't in the end. That left-hand touchline, United send it up the line, but it's intercepted by Kyle Walker. And so too receiving is Phil Foden. But in transition, the misplaced pass is Rasmus Højlund on goal, and he can't get the strike away. Goodness gracious. Højlund now on the right-hand touchline into the box, and it's over the bar, across the byline from Bruno Fernandes. But a very, very, very important chance on goal for Rasmus Højlund. The pass back from Foden, left space in transition for Rasmus Højlund to latch onto it. It was well defended by John Stone, should I say. And Højlund across the face on the byline, looked for Bruno Fernandes, who was lurking in the penalty area. He had to strike it as clean as a whistle into the near post, but couldn't strike and couldn't find the goal. And the equaliser for Manchester United. Now this left-hand touchline is Bernardo Silva stepping in and flying space in the middle, but it's intercepted by Evans. Now left-hand side is Grealish. Plays it back to Bernardo Silva. Looks centrally now for John Stones. Midway point of City's attacking half. Out to the right-hand side now is Kyle Walker in line with the right edge of the penalty area. Now is Foden on his left-hand boot now with Rodri. Looks further right for Kyle Walker. Now in a central position is Phil Foden. Clips it out to the left-hand side. It's touched down by Grealish on his right foot, cutting on and incisively finds Foden, who's gone all the way back to this left edge of the penalty area. United managed to clear it out off the foot of Phil Foden, and it will be a goal kick to Onana. Well, hasn't this been entertaining in these first 32 minutes? See Dennis Law there as well in attendance. I'm fairly sure. Now it's back in City's defensive half. In the midway point of their defensive half, it is with Ruben Diaz on that right-hand touchline. Walker cuts away from his marker, back into the defensive half of City on that right-hand touchline. Now it's with the option of Edison, who comes out of his box to receive. Taking an awful lot of steps forward and looks out to the left-hand side. Up the field now is Vardiol on this left-hand side, and in the midway point of City's attacking half, overlapping is Vardiol approaching the byline. Vardiol gets across the way to the back post, but it whizzed over the bar. But he's been quite the breath of fresh air, the Croatian international. Only 21 years of age, has a very bright career ahead of him. Was signed at Dinamo Zagreb in 2010 in the youth academy. Now in the centre circle now is Amrabat. Looks furthermore to up the pitch, but it's intercepted by Stones. Now Grealish on halfway, forced to track back into his defensive half and clips it out to that right-hand side of Kyle Walker. More central, however, but looks further right now for Foden up the field. Approaching the right edge of the penalty area. Looks back on the right-hand touchline for Walker. Now Rodri inside. Plays it back now to Ruben Diaz up the pitch. Rodri now into the centre circle now. Gvardiol in the central area. Looks to the left-hand side of Bernardo Silva, clipping it into the penalty area. It's back out with Silva. City moving the ball so eloquently down these passing channels, all these triangles and whatnot. This is how the way that Pep Guardiola likes to play his game. And Ruben Diaz looks up to the right-hand side of Kyle Walker, cuts away and plays it back to the feet of Ruben Diaz in City's defensive half, midway point of their defensive half. On the edge of the centre circle now is Rodri. Looking to play it down to that left-hand side is Bernardo Silva. Further left is Grealish. Looks down that left-hand touchline. It's incisively for Bernardo Silva, looking to flick it back. He was on the perimeter of the penalty area. He was on the line. And now into the Gvardiol. Now in the midway point of City's attacking half. In a central position now is Ruben Diaz. Haaland back to goal. Stones looking to get the pass away. Still with Rodri though. On the edge of the centre circle in the attacking half of City. Now Alvarez down this right-hand channel. Crossing to the area, but it's Maguire. Oh, that was a very bad mishap. Nearly made it all the more difficult for United to defend on that occasion. It was a calamitous point, which Dalot... the cross arrived to Dalot's chest, and then Maguire didn't know what to do about it, and then played it out for a corner. That was the only alternative that he was really faced with, unfortunately for him. And it will be a City corner now on this left-hand side. It'll be on the right foot of Julian Alvarez. To the central area goes United header it away. Into Foden, who heads it down to the left-hand side of Jack Grealish. About still 10 yards out from the penalty area. Now it's in the central position for Ruben Diaz. In the centre circle now is Gvardiol. Comes out and progresses up the park in City's attacking half. Gvardiol still looks left for Rodri. Looks further left now for Jack Grealish, who goes to ground. He's clipped by Johnny Evans just outside of the penalty area on this left-hand side. We're quite an acute angle to send this in, but Jack Grealish has been clipped, and a very intriguing opportunity for City presents itself. Johnny Evans committing the foul, just clipping the legs of Jack Grealish. Definitely enough to warrant a free kick shout. On this occasion, you'd have to just look towards the back post. Back post and hope is pretty much what you'd have to say. Let's see what City can muster up through Julian Alvarez yet again, their Argentine hero. Alvarez goes direct! And it's in fact Onana who punches it over the bar. Out for a corner, yet again for City. And I wouldn't think that Alvarez would go direct from that angle, but he did. He just palmed, I wouldn't say he punched it over the bar, he just palmed it over the bar. City's fifth corner of the afternoon. On his left-hand side, Alvarez towards the back post. It's headed back by United. And so too through Amrabat. It's rolled back into City's attacking half now on this right-hand side. It's with Foden. Low cross towards the left-hand side, but it's Ruben Diaz with a glancing header, but it doesn't remotely reach the side of goal. And it will be a goal kick for United. Now Onana. Up the park he goes. And Højlund was in an offside position. So it will be a free kick, indirect free kick for City in the centre circle. Now it's Ruben Diaz out to that right hand side and City's defensive half. Walker looks up the line down that right-hand side. It is Alvarez heads it down to himself, down this right-hand touchline. The midway point of City's attacking half. Now he's arriving in a central position. Looks out to that left-hand side of Jack Grealish. On the left edge of the penalty area. Inside now is Grealish. Cutting away on his right foot. Grealish with a shot away. Deflected out for a corner off Manchester United. It's a really relentless pursuit to try and defend the multitude of shots that arrive on goal. None of which have really troubled Onana besides the real first one from Phil Foden. But they're getting in very dangerous positions, and that's not a good sign if you're Erik ten Hag, but it's been a tactical masterclass by Pep Guardiola. Alvarez on his right foot, what can he fashion? Towards centre, and it's Maguire who heads it away. Now it's back with Kyle Walker. Looks out to that right-hand side. Højlund is pressing. In the centre circle now with Walker in his defensive half. Grealish heads it over, now with Alvarez on that left-hand side. Looks to play it back, and the free kick goes against Manchester United. Not entirely what for. Yeah, it's the shoulder challenge. Well, I wouldn't say it's the shoulder challenge, but it's the elbow challenge. Now it's down this left-hand touchline for City. Down this left-hand touchline up the park. It is with Stones, who plays it back to Rodri. Looks out to that right-hand side now. Midway point of City's attacking half. Further right is Phil Foden, approaching the right edge of the penalty area. Now it's with Walker. Plays it back to Rodri. Looking to progress out of the park himself. Turns away and plays it laterally for Julian Alvarez. Down that right-hand touchline yet again. Phil Foden looking to drive inside, but it's forced to go back to Rodri. Now centrally for John Stones. It's Foden. Receives him board yet again. Now in the centre circle is Vardiol. Looks out to the left-hand side of Bernardo Silva. Further left is Jack Grealish. Looking to bide his time on Diogo Dalot. It's Grealish yet again into the area for Foden. Back with Grealish. Amrabat stepping in on the perimeter of the penalty area. He goes to ground. It's pushed down by Foden. And Amrabat is not happy with that. The two just locking heads for a brief period. And perhaps a bit of frustration as well. Maybe. Who knows? Lots of changes for United will be needed. Of course, the XG firmly in favour of City from a 1.15 to 0.15. And Amrabat goes into the book for perhaps just arguing a little bit too much. 63% of possession to 37. 6 corners to 0. 2 shots to 6. That's the real tale of the tape. City have their number over Manchester United in recent clashes, and he's looking to follow the same sort of passage today. Foden also goes into the book, I assume, for that challenge on Amrabat. Down this left-hand touchline is United, and it was attempted to be played up the line by Lindelof, but it's now won back by Kyle Walker at the midway point of City's attacking half. He'll throw it in. Throws it down for Alvarez on the byline, and I think the last touch came off a United player, and it will be a corner kick for City. Erik ten Hag not too happy. He'll go back into his chair on the sideline. City's 7th corner. On his right foot, it does arrive. It's towards the back post, and Rashford got the flick on, but it's back out to the left-hand side now. It will be just about 5 yards or so out from the The byline on this left-hand side. Bernardo Silva will throw it in. Vardiol, short for Rodri. And has to... Ooh. Thought he played it into the centre circle, but it's now with Walker up down this right-hand side. Looks further right for Foden. Looking to cut away. Incisively finds Walker in the penalty area. Across the byline it goes. But Johnny Evans sends it out for yet another corner. And Kyle Walker has been so good getting in space. And getting there in time as well. Been a timely addition to this side, and of course from Tottenham all those years ago. It seems like it was a while ago, but the cross was right from City towards the back post. It's Rashford with the header. Maguire follows suit down this left-hand side for United. To Grealish, back to goal down this left-hand channel. Amrabat goes to ground, but Grealish cutting onto his right now in the central area. Clips it out to that right hand of the penalty area. It's Alvarez clipping in forwards for Haaland. And now Grealish. And now Rashford in the central area, who can't get the pass away initially, but does down to that left-hand side. Up the field does Fernandes go. Looks down to that right-hand channel, having to chase down is Gvardiol and Rashford. Gvardiol gets it clear, but it's down this right-hand side for United. Now with Eriksen in the centre circle. It is Johnny Evans, 4 minutes of added time in this first half. And this left-hand side is Lindelof, rolled centrally in the midway point of United's attacking half of Højlund. Now it's with Evans. Maguire. In United's defensive half down that right-hand touchline now is Rashford. With an incisive ball into the centre, looking for the strike on goal from McTominay. And Ederson with a brilliant palm away, but that had some ferocity on it from the Scotsman. And Rashford with a brilliant lateral ball. Well, diagonal ball, should I say, for Scott McTominay, who struck it centrally and hard. And it's Ederson's left hand who had to palm it away. Corner did arrive quickly on this left edge of the penalty area. Eriksen with the intended cross to the back post, but it's out of play for a goal kick. Brilliant diagonal ball into the centre for McTominay. He was on the half volley, struck it cleanly and nearly found the goal for United. That would have been his third consecutive goal in Premier League games for Scott McTominay. Ederson clears high for Evans, and it's in the centre circle now for McTominay. Looks out to the left-hand side of Bruno Fernandes on halfway. In the centre circle now is Eriksen. In combination play with Bruno Fernandes. Leaves it for Eriksen now in transition. Eriksen looking to progress it into the penalty area. He was perhaps fouled. It's out to that right-hand side, right edge of the penalty area now. It's with Rashford clipping it forwards to the back post. And it's cleared away by City. And headed over by Ruben Diaz out for a corner. Isn't this an enormous chance for United on the stroke of half-time? Entering the 48th minute now. The corner from the right-hand side is Bruno Fernandes. Clipping it towards the back post. The header en route from Maguire, but it's out of play. And a goal kick for Ederson. Fine margins. This game, it's all been all City. Were it not for these last few minutes by United, which have been sloppy but encouraging. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Ederson clears down that left-hand side in the attacking half now. Haaland back to goal. It is Silva clipping it into a central position for Alvarez. He leaves it now for Foden, who goes to ground. But advantage is played. Who clips it down to the left-hand side. A brilliant diagonal pass to find Jack Grealish. Goes back to Gvardiol in a more central position at the midway point of City's attacking half. Now is Stones looking to curl away. It's back with Grealish inside to Silva. A pass across the byline to the back post. Haaland and Onana with an outrageous save. Oh my word! How did he get back in time? Onana saving United from yet another goal conceded in this game. That is one of the great saves you'll see this season. It's almost volleyball-esque from the Cameroonian goalkeeper. Oh my goodness. That is textbook goalkeeping and textbook shot stopping from Andre Onana. The corner from City now into the area, and it's headed back by Rasmus Højlund. And that'll be the final action of this first half. Penalty awarded to City following Rasmus Højlund bringing down Rodri is where we are right now. Haaland finished from the penalty spot, and it's been all City since then. And Onana has really kept his side in this game. At half time, it is Manchester City 1, United 0. and City make it 2 for Erling Haaland. Excellent work from Manchester City, and it's Erling Haaland with the easiest of headers, and City have more and truly, and well and truly, put themselves in a winning position. Haaland is on a hat-trick, and hasn't this been great for Manchester City? It's Phil Foden with a great pass, a great diagonal ball out to the left-hand side of Jack Grealish, who on his left foot slipped it through to Bernardo Silva, the cross ball out to the right-hand side, and it was the back post header from Erling Haaland, which made it 2-0. And Manchester City are on the precipice of a great and famous victory at Old Trafford, continuing their winning ways. Pep Guardiola is delighted, and so too will Manchester City. Erling Haaland has put themselves into a brilliant position going forward. Now down this left-hand side for United. United's defence caught napping really at the back post. It's quite outrageous, to be honest. Now it's back with Onana just outside of his penalty area. Looking out to that right-hand side, the midway point of United's attacking half. Now in the centre circle is Bruno Fernandes. Looks out to that left-hand channel. Stepping inside is Marcus Rashford approaching the penalty area. It's back with Fernandes though. Rolls back into a central position for McTominay. Down this right-hand channel. The cross attempting to arrive, but it calls for a handball against Jack Grealish on the penalty area, and the free kick will go against United on the edge of City's penalty area in their defensive half. It'll be them attempting to bring it up the park. The cross from Dallo, of course, arriving to the back post. There was a call for a handball against Jack Grealish, but I think that quite clearly hits his left foot. Now it's back in City's defensive half. It is Rodri. Back to the goalkeeper of Edison. With a diagonal out to the right-hand side, but it's over the head of Kyle Walker, and it'll be taken by Rashford at the midway point of United's attacking half, and it's Lindelof. He throws it back now to Harry Maguire. Onana stepping in as like another centre-back, and will now clear it up to that left-hand side as Højlund heading it down to Rashford in the central position. And United's attacking half down this left-hand side. It's Lindelof rolls it central. Fernandes with the attempted flick. Højlund back to goal, looking to find McTominay, but it's intercepted by Jack Grealish, and it's sent way high up the line for City. Now it's in the centre circle for Eriksen. Down this left-hand side now is Lindelof. Was it central? Now Maguire, the midway point of United's defensive half. Diagonal ball out to the left-hand side as Lindelof plays it back into the defensive half of United with Johnny Evans. Now Mount. The triangle executed down this left-hand channel. Johnny Evans now just back out to Onana, who's just outside of his penalty area. Onana clipping it out to the left-hand side. It's Lindelof that heads it in. Back into play. It's Johnny Evans who miscued, and Haaland down this right-hand channel, but it's Alvarez who can't quite reach it. Hasn't this been an absolute masterclass from Manchester City on all fronts? United defenders really unable to mark Erling Haaland, and this puts themselves in a very difficult position going forward, and to rise from adversity at this point for United against a formidable opponent that is Manchester City will be all too hard for them to consider. Now it's in the centre circle, and Bernardo Silva with a brilliant diagonal ball out to the left-hand side. It's Vardiol across the face of goal, but it's right into the arms of Onana. Now centrally, midway point for United's defensive half, it's McTominay who can't even get the pass away. It's back past halfway for City down this right-hand channel, this time with Kyle Walker and Phil Foden combining. The right-hand channel now is Walker. It's now back of a step to Rodri. Central area now for Stones. With a cross-field ball out to the left-hand side of Jack Grealish, approaching the left edge of the penalty area. Leaves it short for Silva. Grealish back to Gvardiol. Sends it across the face. Now down to the right-hand channel is Foden. Looking to drive inside and slips through a pass to Rodri. Turns back from his marker. Laterally finds Julian Alvarez, who goes back to Walker. Midway point of City's attacking half. Now they go back beyond halfway into their defensive half through Gvardiol. Now space for Silva. Looks further left now for Jack Grealish. Cutting onto his left and stepping inside was Diogo Dalot, who keeps it in transition. Cutting back past his marker. Deflected away by Maguire, who sends it right into the chest of Julian Alvarez, who will drive forward into the penalty area on this right-hand side. It's Julian Alvarez. That's deflected off Victor Lindelof and out for a City corner yet again. Well, here we go. Let's have a look at what City can muster up and conjure up from this occasion. It's to the chest of Haaland. Now to the right-hand side. Right-hand touchline is Kyle Walker. And Ruben Diaz. Back central for Ederson. Right-hand touchline. There's Ruben Diaz back into the box for Ederson. Sends it up into the centre circle so eloquently for Alvarez. The two South Americans combining down this right-hand channel now is Foden cutting onto his left. Looks out to the left-hand channel, and this time it's Jack Grealish on his left foot. On his right foot, it's Jack Grealish who curls it, and Onana's there to make the save, but it's still in play for United down this left-hand channel. And in fact, it's right next to the corner flag. Can Rashford keep it in? He can. And it's off the foot of Jack Grealish. No, sorry, I say Phil Foden. This left-hand channel. And it's Marcus Rashford, who did so well. And Foden just hit the body of John Stones on the way through. And Grealish on his right foot. Attempted to curl it into the bottom right corner. But Onana was there. His shot stopping today is, in many parts, been pretty good. And now it's into feet of Rasmus Højlund. Past halfway, do United go? And Walker was looking to step in as well. Rodri. And Bernardo Silva just back into the goalkeeper box of Ederson. Rodri down this right edge of the penalty area for City. City are just knocking it around their penalty box, and no threats are exactly arriving in transition for United. And City are more than happy to just continue to maintain the style of play that they've done all day. Down this left-hand channel, City go yet again. And Ruben Diaz with the outside of the foot pass will receive in board, receiving from his fellow countryman, and Bernardo Silva. Now in the centre circle is Rodri, leaving it free for John Stones to run in transition in space. Steps back and finds the space of Alvarez, combining with Haaland now. It's on the edge of the penalty area for Julian Alvarez on his left foot. And between the legs, it's Jack Grealish across the face of goal. Nearly finding the bottom right corner. That is exquisite. That is liquid football from Manchester City. Haaland, Alvarez touching through with John Stones between the legs of Bernardo Silva. And then it was Jack Grealish who attempted to get the strike on goal. And in fact, Haaland also went down with a shout for a penalty, but those calls weren't answered. Gvardiol plays it back to his goalkeeper. And Ederson, who has to clear it past danger. And as they're thrown for United past halfway in their attacking half. Now Dalot throws it back into the defensive half for United. Just beyond the centre circle now is Johnny Evans. Looks back to Maguire, midway point of United's defensive half. Neatly finds Fernandes, who can't break away and has to foul Haaland, should I say. just beyond halfway for City. And you can really see the frustration emanating out of United's players, both demonstrated in their actions and their mannerisms. You can really hardly blame them on the balance, though. It's just been one of those afternoons. Hasn't exactly greeted them in the best way and best light. Just to the left-hand side of the centre circle. And Bernardo Silva looking to break away. It's now with Fernandez, and Eriksson can't receive him board. Now it's in a central area for Haaland on the perimeter of the penalty area. Looks out right to Foden on his left foot. Foden cutting away yet again, and just stepped away and retrieving the ball now on the right edge of the penalty area is Rodri. It's back with Foden. He's forced to go back and to Kyle Walker. Now into the centre circle for Ruben Diaz. Down this left-hand channel is Gvardiol. Further left is Jack Grealish. Now it's back in the midway point of City's defence. Ruben Diaz now in the centre circle for Rodri. Up the park into the attacking half they go. Swinging it left, right, high and low. It's with Julian Alvarez down this right-hand channel. Now Kyle Walker further right for Alvarez. Back down this right-hand channel for City. They go back into their defensive half. It's an absolute clinic they're putting on. Henderson coming out of his box to play it to Rodri. To feet. Centre circle now Haaland stepping back to goal. Now to Alvarez down this right-hand channel looking to slip through. Nice pass for Phil Foden. It's back to Johnny Evans from Onana. Sends it up high down this right-hand channel. And the header away from Ruben Diaz, just inside of United's defensive half. The throw will arrive from Marcus Rashford. And cavalry might be needed. I think United will definitely take a point from this if they're able to get 2 goals, but it certainly appears unlikely on the balance. After an encouraging end to that first half, it's been all downhill since then. Into the box to Onana it goes. Midway point of the defensive half for McTominay. Out to that right-hand touchline. Still inside the United's half. It's back with McTominay in a more central position. Now Maguire in the centre circle now. The diagonal is attempted. Looks out to the left-hand side of Lindelof. Now to Evans, who tries at the diagonal of his own out to the right-hand side. And unfortunately for Diogo Dalot, he wasn't quite there in possession. Now Bernardo Silva, crossing past halfway, is Julian Alvarez. And so too Kyle Walker down this right-hand side. Finds Foden on that right-hand touchline. In central for Alvarez. The combination with Rodri executed. Now to Ruben Diaz. Midway point of City's defensive half now. It's with Ederson. Now Stones. Diaz. Rodri on this right-hand side, looking to cross past halfway. Bypasses Rashford, and Kyle Walker's racing down that right-hand side. Cutting away from his marker. Rolls it centrally for Alvarez. On the perimeter, Julian Alvarez lines up from range. It's a way out to that left-hand side and over the top and over the bar. So an opportunity for United to try and recover some lost ground. You can see Anthony warming up at the moment. Lindelof down this left-hand side for United in their defensive half. It's with Johnny Evans. Bernardo now stepping out of his penalty area. Looks left to Evans. He finds Rashford in a central position, looking to flick it through to Mason Mount, and Højlund is pressing. Nearly beat past Kyle Walker. Ederson now in the penalty area, and it's over the top. Nearly past halfway for City. Now it's Gvardiol. And there's one back by United down this right-hand side in their attacking half. Midway point now of their attacking half. It is with Højlund. Rolls it back to Eriksson. Now on this right-hand side is McTominay. Further right for Dalot. Now it's Eriksson back in a more central area. Now it's that right-hand touchline. It is Dalot looking to create space. Playing it back to Eriksson. It will shape a cross through to the back post. Danger not yet away by City. At the midway point of the attacking half for United is Victor Lindelof, the usual centre half. Centre circle, Maguire. Out to the right-hand side is Christian Eriksen. Goes back into the centre circle. Maguire. Lateral pass to the right-hand side. It's Eriksen. Finds the option of Dalot. Cuts inside. Drives forward. Incisively finds Fernandez. Past the byline. To the back post it goes. It's Kyle Walker who's there. Trying to get away past Marcus Rashford. And Foden will head it up the line down that right-hand side for Julian Alvarez, who crosses past halfway. He's got a lot of options in the middle, but he plays it short to Foden. Back to the right-hand touchline is Julian Alvarez. Back into the defensive half for City. The midway point of their defensive half, it is Ruben Diaz. Now with Oscar Gvardiol. Up that left-hand side they go. They go back into the defensive half. And now entering the centre circle just about. Past halfway down this right-hand touchline. Here's Phil Foden, who finds Stones in space. In a central position. Left-hand pass. Finds Silva, who's approaching the penalty area. Bernardo Silva, but it's into the arms of Onana. The long strike from range. United cleared down that left-hand touchline. It's a call for a handball against Rashford. Those calls aren't answered. And they get the throw-in. United now in a moment of transition. Højlund back to goal. Mount down this right-hand channel is Dalot. Gets a cross away into the middle, but Stones was there to get his foot into it. And back to goal now is Gvardiol. He goes back to his goalkeeper Ederson, who clears it down that left-hand side. Back to goal was Haaland. And it's into feet to Johnny Evans at the midway point of United's defensive half. Harry Maguire now crossing past halfway. Fernandez looking to find the option of Dalot, but it wasn't on cue with his Portuguese teammate. So a dismal day at the office for Manchester United yet again. In the box it is. Out to the right-hand side now. It's Kyle Walker. Stones in a central position. Now finds Alvarez in the midway point of City's defensive half. And it's picked up in possession by Scott McTominay. Moment for United now. Can't quite slip it through to Fernandez. But Eriksen arrives in the mindset of someone arriving for cavalry. And Eriksen gets an attempted cross away, but it's off to a City player for a corner. If there were a time for United to strike, it would be right now. "67 minutes gone now. It's about halfway done in the second half. With the right foot of Eriksen into the middle it goes, and City header it over for yet another corner by Rodri. And Christian Eriksen yet again. Got 5 or so players in the box for United, not too many. And it goes. Stones heads it away. Fernandez out to the right edge of the penalty area is Dalot, and Eriksen will try his luck at a secondary cross. In fact, he won't. It's Dalot now. Back with Eriksen, lateral pass, and Fernandez sends it in. And it's not very fruitful for the Portuguese international. Now thrown at the midway point of United's attacking half for Fernandez. He receives, and with the outside of the foot pass, plays into the centre circle of Victor Lindelof. Now in the centre circle now is Harry Maguire. Lindelof, the diagonal out to the right hand side. Dalot receives in board. Touches it past to Eriksen. The attacking half it goes. Rashford receives in ball. Marcus Rashford! Oh my goodness. Just away from the left hand side of the post. An excellent, exquisite ball into the chest of the United youth product. made a fantastic run, chested it down. Kyle Walker covered space, and he couldn't quite find the bottom left corner. Another golden chance for United goes begging. And jeers from the City travelling fans. Didn't really have to travel that far. Down this left-hand touchline for City in their attacking half. In line with the penalty area. They go back to a step and a midway point of their defensive half. Bernardo Silva. Now Ruben Diaz. And the midway point of City's attacking half now is Alvarez. Now this is Rodri in the centre circle. Here's John Stones now. He's also debutising as a centre back in possession. Out to the left hand side in City's attacking half. It's Vardiol. In the central position now is Silva. Back into City's defensive half. 20 minutes left in this contest of regulation time. Silva just a couple of chops away from his marker and McTominay. In the centre circle now out to the right hand side. Incisively Alvarez. Past halfway is Walker. Back into the midway point of the defensive half for City. It is with Ruben Diaz. And Stones out to the left-hand side, past halfway, and brilliantly finds the option in space. And it's Erling Haaland through on goal. Can he beat past Onana? He can't. Incisive pass to Haaland on this left-hand side. Onana was there to make the save. A brilliant combination play from Grealish. We then found Haaland, who looked to beat past Onana. But that's really been the battle of the game so far. Onana has done well in instances in which he can get there to make saves, but Haaland on a hat-trick. And City get themselves another corner. Really should have put the game to bed at that point. Rolled short to Grealish on his left-hand side. On the left edge of the penalty area, the cross arrives and it's right into the heads of the Northern Irishman in Johnny Evans. Now at the midway point for City's attacking half. In the centre circle now is Kyle Walker. Advantage played on though. It's Rodri to the perimeter of the penalty area. It's Erling Haaland out to the right hand side now is Bernardo Silva. Right hand touchline Silva. Rolls it back into Ruben Diaz. Right hand touchline is Silva yet again. Into the centre circle now. It's in a central position for Kyle Walker. Out to the right hand touchline is Silva. Now Foden. Nice looping ball over the top into the penalty area. Directed towards Silva. Oh no, but it's scuffed from Onana. And Foden can't keep it in play. Exactly for City, but it's one back in possession following the misplaced pass from, I believe it was Johnny Evans. Across the centre circle now is to Gvardiol. Looping ball out to the right hand side. No one in space. But Onana with a near calamitous error. So it was an incisive ball over the top for Bernardo Silva. And Onana just spilled it. And Foden just couldn't get possession of the football exactly. We'll see a double change. Alejandro Garnacho coming on. United's Argentine and Sergio Reguilon. Victor Lindelof making way as well. So Rasmus Højlund's first Premier League goal. The first chance at getting a Premier League goal. Doesn't arrive on the 29th of October. Had a couple chances today, but really couldn't strike on goal. And so I guess now people will call him 007. 0 goals, 0 assists in the Premier League at least. His Champions League record's been quite good though. 3 goals in 3 games. Edison. And the midway point of City's defensive half. Rodri out to the left-hand side. That is a brilliant pass. Down this left-hand channel is Vardiol. Centrally for Grealish. United defenders very tired, and he attempts a strike on goal. Deflected off a United player. It was looping. And it's a corner for City. I was going to say a goal kick, but it's definitely come off the trailing leg of Christian Eriksen. And so another corner for City. That is a very familiar sight, one of which we've grown accustomed to over the course of this afternoon. Decided to play it short. It's clipped towards the back post now. Rodri across the face again, and now Fernandez receiving in board is Eriksen. Garnacho can't quite receive, and it's played out by City down this left-hand side. It'll be a United throw at the midway point of their defensive half. United with slightly more of the ball in this second half, but it hasn't really been anything to be praised. It's been quite a dismal effort, all things considered. Besides that, Eriksen, midway point of United's defensive half, and it's Maguire with the switch out to the left-hand side, and now it's Garnacho on that left-hand touchline. Now, just about in the centre circle now is Johnny Evans. Maguire, past halfway, does find the option on McTominay. Eriksen looking to find Rashford in the central position, who's definitely taking up the role as a striker. And Foden with a beautiful pass, looking to find Rashford. Should I say Haaland? Midway point of United's defence now is Maguire. Looks out to the right-hand side. Dalot back into the goalkeeper box of Onana. Left-hand side Reguilon, current loanee from Tottenham Hotspur. It's won back by Kyle Walker in possession. And Ruben Diaz returns it to Ederson. He comes out slightly out of his box and plays that to that left-hand side. It's kept in play though by Jack Grealish. That'll be a throw-in for City just beyond halfway in their defensive half. See England manager Gareth Southgate also watching along. Many players in that England squad are in this starting 11 for Manchester City, and also for Manchester United as well. Marcus Rashford, key player in that England squad ahead of Euro 2024. Rodri in the centre circle now is Alvarez, who turns back into the centre circle for Stones. Now it's with Ruben Diaz. It's Rodri out to that right-hand touchline of Walker. Rodri across the centre circle. Diaz. Alvarez, nice combination with Gvardiol, towering centre half at this left-hand side, central to Diaz. And it's into the area for Phil Foden across the face. And now it's with Foden on this right-hand touchline. In centrally for Silva. Turns away past his marker down that right-hand of the penalty area. Decides to occupy a spot on that right-hand touchline. Walker inside for Alvarez. City knocking it around in their attacking half. Still in the centre circle now for Diaz. Stones. Looks left for Gvardiol. Now stepping inside in that completion of the triangle is with Rodri. This right-hand side now is Foden cutting inside past the perimeter of the penalty area. Now in the centre circle is Gvardiol. And Walker down this right-hand side. Silva being pressed back quite a little bit into City's defensive half. This time Diaz looks left for Gvardiol. Now the midway point of City's defensive half, it is Bernardo Silva, who debutises as a centre-back in possession. A diagonal looking to find Alvarez in space in transition. City beginning to slow it down just that little bit. It's Foden on this right-hand side, looking to laterally find space in the centre. It's Silva out to the left-hand side of Grealish. Looks to cut onto his left, but Grealish yet again. Now it's back with Vardiol. And Rodri. Could have a pop from 20 yards out. He decides to do so! And Haaland, can he get the rebound? He can, across the face! And it's Phil Foden who pokes it in! And City take a 3-0 lead! 2 goals and an assist for Haaland. Phil Foden gets his goal. And City are going back to the Etihad with all 3 points in the bag. And they celebrate in front of their travelling fans as the rain begins to pummel on Old Trafford. And the goals are raining in as well. An excellent finish from Phil Foden. That is the way to do it. He's been excellent all afternoon. And finishes with aplomb. A good save from Onana. Haaland. Easy pass across the face for Phil Foden, who finished with ease. And City are going to take back their position on the Premier League table. It will be in 3rd. They score one more though, they might make things a little bit more difficult for Arsenal. Of course, level on points with them at the moment. As for United, in 8th place they will be for the foreseeable future. 5 wins, 5 draws to kick off their campaign. It looks like Phil Foden on 80 minutes. United fans are beginning to exit, not too happy, and you know what? Even better for Pep Guardiola. He hasn't made a single substitution himself. It's back into the goalkeeper box of Ederson. Now Diaz up that left-hand side. It's Jack Grealish who's trudging down a little bit in pain, it seems. Foden with the clearance to Ederson. In the box for City now is Rodri on the perimeter. Looks out to the left-hand side. It is with Bernardo Silva. Midway point of City's defensive half. It's Kyle Walker who steps inside and runs with all that pace in transition in the middle of the park. Down this left-hand side to Jack Grealish now. The left edge of the penalty area. Grealish inside. Now it's across the face. And Foden with the attempted overhead kick. Wouldn't have that been special from Phil Foden? Last time we saw something like this in a Manchester derby, it was Wayne Rooney all those years ago. That was really close to the left-hand post. And how about the acrobatics from City's golden boy? And they're doing the Poznan as well. And it's been a couple of relatively difficult weeks for Manchester City, but it's always a confidence booster when you defeat your rivals comprehensively. And they've done so this afternoon. Ederson. Oh, nearly a mistake. But it's won back by Eriksen. Approaching the perimeter for United. It's Christian Eriksen. Looks out to the left-hand side. It's Alejandro Garnacho. Approaching the byline, getting the cross away. It's into the feet of Ruben Diaz. And now Foden down this right-hand touchline. So eloquently breaks past Sergio Reguilon. And it's a United throw. The midway point of their attacking half. It's Garnacho. It's off Foden yet again. Now on halfway is Maguire. Looks to the left hand of Evans. It's beautiful from Fernandes, and it's Garnacho now on the perimeter of the penalty area, but Rodri wins out in possession. One of the best holding midfielders in the world. You will say he's played as a centre-back today, though. Now it's Dalot. On that right-hand side, looks space for Eriksen. Gets the cross away towards the back post, but it's into the arms of Ederson. Had some ferocity and pace upon that. Now Foden in transition for City. Looks in the centre circle for John Stones. And Fernandes gets the pass away up to Mason Mount down that right-hand side. And it seems as if all the force that Fernandes executed in getting that pass away was indicative of him perhaps injuring himself. Not a good sign for United fans, however. I think he stepped on the toes of John Stones. But he's all good, which is positive if you're a Manchester United fan. I guess we'll obviously have a look at their squads in a few weeks and see what the injury situation looks like for both sides. Now Fernandez finds Rashford on the perimeter of the penalty area, and it's deflected away by City, out for a corner for United to take. Of course, we don't forget United have obviously got many injuries. Casemiro didn't feature today at all. Obviously, he's got a bit of an issue there. Plenty of more injuries for United, and of course including Lisandro Martinez, Malacia, Luke Shaw, and it's with Christian Eriksen upon the corner with the attempted volley. Not exactly a conventional route, but it's been anything but that for Erik ten Hag. Now on the attacking half for United on this right-hand side, it is Rashford with the attempted cross. It's into the back of Jack Grealish and sent up high by Gvardiol. And in transition, looked to drop again for Julian Alvarez, and now Reguilon through the centre. This time it is Mason Mount. Reguilon didn't accept to receive it again. It's Maguire on the perimeter of the penalty area, looking out to the right-hand side, but it's sent high and long up by City and by Johnny Evans. Into the centre circle now is Christian Eriksen. And this right-hand side now is Dalot into the attacking half of United, but you can't remotely find the chest of Mason Mount. We'll see a double change from United, and it will be Anthony and Anthony Martial. And we'll see City's first change as well. Mateo Kovacic will come on. Martial's been a staple of this United roster for years. As for Anthony, of course, he arrived from Ajax when he was coached under Erik ten Hag. Christian Eriksen will make way. And so too will Marcus Rashford. A day to forget for both players. But Eriksen's probably been one of the brightest sparks. Jeremy Doku as well, who's really started most of City's games this season, will get a few minutes off the bench. Of course, the signing arriving from Rennes in the summer. Arrived for £55 million, and Julian Alvarez will depart. He's put in a great shift as well. And Jack Grealish as well will make way. Mateo Kovacic as well coming on, the arrival from Chelsea. Has made 6 appearances in the Premier League this season. As a quality player at times, has been in and out of the squad at times, but played a full 90 midweek against Young Boys. Now it's into City's attacking half. It's with a misplaced pass by Fernandez. We'll see it picked up by Kovacic. Now to the right-hand side is Phil Foden, approximately 30 yards out from goal. Foden flicking it through to Silva on this right-hand side, and it's cleared up the line by United, but won back by City on that right-hand side. Rolled central now for John Stones, looking to slip through past to Foden yet again. It's Fernandez, walks down that left-hand channel, and it's with Alejandro Garnacho, who's driving into the penalty area, looking to bring it onto his right foot, but it's poked away by Kyle Walker, out for a corner on this left-hand side for Manchester United to take. Bruno Fernandes to take. Fernandes, in the near post it goes. It's at the perimeter for Sergio Reguilon. Walker headed it back in by Garnacho. It's with Mason Mount. An offside flag goes against United. How many minutes of stoppage time will we get? We'll find out in a few moments, but we'll look at these two schedules for the respective teams. As for United, it's a EFL Cup round of 16 clash against Newcastle on Wednesday night, and then a clash in the Premier League against Fulham on Saturday. As for Manchester City, they also have a number of intriguing clashes coming up. No EFL Cup for them, however. They actually lost to United's opponents, Newcastle, in the third round. Garnacho on this left-hand touchline will play it back to Harry Maguire now. But the next task for Man City is Bournemouth on Saturday. Reguilon on that left-hand touchline and can't find Garnacho in space. And Pep Guardiola is still a bit dissatisfied with the sloppiness in defensive output. But as for the game, it's really been all Erling Haaland for Man City. I guess intriguingly enough, it really hasn't been something that he's done well in possession. Hasn't really received the ball in board a lot. He's one of those players that just arrives in the right place at the right time, and he's been absolutely outstanding. And he's picked his spots so well. So too is Kyle Walker. Has been an ever-present player down that right flank. City's captain as well. Aging like fine wine at the age of 33. And so too on that left-hand side, Josko Gvardiol really starting to embed himself into the system under Pep Guardiola. So the circle now is Bernardo Silva. As we have reached stoppage time with 4 additional minutes. Kovacic in the centre circle now. Looks out to Rodri. Further right now for Foden. The midway point of City's attacking half, but he's approaching the right edge of the penalty area. Foden, peg back and finds Walker. Silva, back to Foden. Now at the midway point of City's attacking half, it is Rodri. Stones, outright for Silva. Garnacho looking to get the pass away. But he can't intercept himself in that position. Antony now. Back to goal in United's defensive half on that right-hand side. Looks to find the pass away to Dalot, but it's picked up by Gvardiol in possession for City. Midway point of their attacking half now. They go back into their defensive half. On this left-hand side now, Kovacic. Now it's Rodri. He receives him board yet again. Now in the centre circle for Stones. First time pass away to Ruben Diaz. Now Doku down this left-hand channel. It was a very threatening presence last week. On this left-hand touchline now. Slipping it through to Kovacic. Back to Doku. And of course, no concern for City with Akanji out with suspension as well. Didn't even mention that at all. And a bit of a scuffle between Doku and Antony as well. And I think like Antony will go in the book. Probably born out of frustration as well, if you were to assume. It's Jeremy Doku and Antony going at it. A couple of arms exchange as well. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Antony goes into the book. It'll be a free kick for City. 30 yards out from goal on this left-hand side. Played short to Doku. Looking to bypass Bruno Fernandes on this byline. It's Jeremy Doku still going on the byline. It's Doku yet again, and it's Mason Mount. He does well in his defensive duties and clears it over the top for a corner for Doku to take. Doku did well to break past Bruno Fernandes. He's such an elegant player on the ball. Doku yet again. Holds it centrally now for Kyle Walker. Bruno Fernandes also going in the book, it seems. Silva into the penalty area. It's out with Kovacic with a low volley on goal. Still in the perimeter for City, and they'll also be awarded the free kick. The stroke of full time now. I think going to ground was one of the City players. It was Rodri in the end, brought down by Johnny Evans. Yes. It's Bruno Fernandes' 4th yellow card of the season, so one more and he'll be suspended for a game. There's a bit more of an exchange between Doku and Fernandes, it seems. Well, this is a pretty intriguing revelation. So City will have a free kick on full time, basically. It's been an absolute masterclass from Pep Guardiola and his men. It's been three of the best in tactical awareness and aerial ability, as well as getting their set pieces on cue from the penalty spot as well. So I think there's a bit of a discussion to be had here. Anthony just bickering with Vardiol, and he's been called over yet again. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. And City will take the set piece. And this will most likely be the final act of the evening. Now you can say it's the evening. It's 5:30 now. Erling Haaland standing over this in central position. It's into the wall and it's full time. Manchester City are victors in the 191st Manchester Derby. The opener arrived from Erling Haaland for the penalty spot, and he did reply as well in the second half. The final goal was added by Phil Foden. Haaland getting an assist as well. He'll certainly be the man of the match this afternoon/evening, but it's a dismal state for the Manchester United Football Club, who are plunged into a world of misery yet again for what seems like deja vu